Hey guys, and welcome back to Reed's Readers with your host, Clinton Reed. And today, I'm going to share with you guys my October wrap-up. Now, if you've noticed, I'm in a different kind of filming setup here. This is kind of what I'm calling my cozy corner here. And I thought this is like a cutest spot to film some wrap-ups if I'm just doing them by myself and stuff like that. Now, this is where I put all my favorites next to the desk. I did a little bit of rearranging to open up the library some, to give me more walking room. Queer books are down over there by the rainbow. Some of the shelves make sense, some don't. Oh well. But I wanted to bring you guys my October wrap-up. I read some amazing things in October, which I also need that over there. Give me 1 second. I need my bond. I need this because there's something later on that I'm going to need to explain something. Ew. That's my Masked Singer votes. Is it? It's gonna be right here. Somewhere over the rainbow with skies of blue. It might not actually be in here. Oh well, I thought I would try. I have an order of how I read certain things this month, and apparently they're not where I thought they would be. Oh well, that was a blast. But yeah, like I said, rearranged a little bit. But this is going to be my wrap-up. These books are in sort of an order. You've got physical, actual books. You've got graphic novels, which leads me into one particular author that I read quite a bit of. And y'all know from my TBR, I'm trying to complete her works. And I still have 2 more books of hers that I still need to read, which I'm still working on one of them. But okay. I'm going to stop rambling and just get into my October wrap-up. But before I do that, do y'all like the new cozy corner? This was the cutest place to do wrap-ups next to some of my favorite books. But okay, I'm going to talk about my number 1 DNF of the month. I will state I did not finish my TBR for October. I did not read most of them. Most of these were not on that TBR. But I did complete 22 things in October. And 1 DNF, so that would make it 23, I guess. But I don't really count the DNF because I only got on 4 chapters, if that. But I had to reread everything I read. And I still don't understand what I read. I'm rambling again, aren't I? It's been a long day at work. But let's start with my one and only major DNF. I did DNF some of the other books that I read this month, but those went back on the shelf because I just wasn't in the mood. I had this weird mood this month, so I mood read for most of it. But I DNF'd Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This will be going on the unhaul pile. I had to reread the prologue and the first chapter 4 or 5 times. And I still don't know what I read. I have no idea. Was doing a buddy read of this with a bunch of people on Instagram. And only one of us actually finished the book. And I think she gave it a 4-star because she ended up really enjoying it. But other than that, the rest of us, I think, DNF'd it. So this is going into the unhaul pile and it will go bye-bye. And I'm sorry, Leigh Bardugo, I will stick to Grishaverse with you for right now. Still need to continue on with the Six of Crows duology. Now we're going to get into 5 physical books that I read that are apart from the other author. We're going to start with my 2 rereads this month of the physical books. I did reread quite a bit in this month, but it'll all make sense later. First off, I'm going to start with my Rick Riordan of the month, which I am buddy reading the entire works of Rick Riordan with Mel from Completely Melanie and her little group on Twitter. This is the 4th book in the Heroes of the Olympus series. Gaia is trying to take over the world and they're trying to stop her. And I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This is still one of my all-time favorite series. Right now, I do believe this is my favorite series of Rick Riordan's that I have read to date. This is a reread. First time claiming it on Goodreads, though. Which kind of makes me question Goodreads a little bit right now. But, yeah. Wheelstein, I loved Nico's little secret being outed. Oh, loved that. Love Leo, love Percy, love Annabeth, love Hazel, Jason, Nico, all of them. Piper, oh. And I can't wait to finish this series in November. I do believe we're reading Blood of Olympus next week. I think that's our buddy read. Yes, 4 out of 5 stars. Or 5 out of 5 stars. What did I say 4? And then my other reread of this month is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I'm not going to talk much about this because my live show, which should have already happened, is technically tomorrow on November 6th, 7 p.m. my channel, where me and a couple of other booktubers are going to be discussing the first book in the pack-along as we discuss when's the next best date to do Raven's Song. We may have to do a second live show in November for Raven's Song, but oh well, because December's going to be a nightmare for a lot of us, so just saying. But yes, 5 out of 5 stars. If you do not know what the Green Creek series is about, you should join our pack-along and read some gay werewolves. That's all I'm going to say, because we're going to discuss a lot more of this in our live show tomorrow. And, oh, I can't wait. Which, I will link that down below if you guys are interested in watching the live show if you missed it. My next read is Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is a retelling of Wizard of Oz. If Dorothy came back to Oz and did so much good in the world, that she's now evil and wicked. Follow Amy Gum, a girl from Kansas, living in a trailer with a pet rat, being sucked into the land of Oz, and now she has to remove the Tin Man's heart, steal the Scarecrow's brain, take the Lion's courage, and then kill Dorothy, which I think is really badass, and I will definitely be continuing this. This is one of Mel's all-time favorite series, and she's been dying for me to read it because she wants to know my thoughts. I may be adding in at least one audiobook each month. Until I actually purchase the actual books, I may use this one to hold up for the audiobooks. But I am super excited to continue. Next, I read a book. So, I have some friends on TikTok who are in a war on what is better, Twilight or Crave. Well, I've never read Crave by Tracy Wolff. This beast of a book I finished in 2 days. I mean, it's technically only 571 pages. It looks a lot thicker than that. But I am Team Crave. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. There are parts of this that I cannot stand. There are parts of this that I absolutely love. And if you are a huge fan of Twilight and that type of books, you should totally check this out. I will be continuing on with this series. The audiobook is phenomenal. This follows... what is her name? Grace, right? Yes, Grace. This follows Grace, whose parents are dead, and then she has to go live with her uncle and her cousin and go to this boarding school in Alaska. And then she meets Jason Vega, a vampire. I will state, this book surprised me. Yes, it's that kitschy, like, fun. It has some really cheesy bad moments and some bad puns that are just shut the hell up. And the main character kind of irritates me just as much as Bella. But I will state, if you're looking for one of those type of books, but add in vampires, werewolves, dragons, witches, and gargoyles, listen. Says everything. That's all I'm going to say. I went in this little blind because I just had to know which team I was on. Everyone of my friends and stuff on Book Talk were discussing this. And I just had to know. Well, I'm Team Crave, and Crave got me sold for right now. I need to continue on, and we will see with book 2 if I decide to continue further. But the way that this one ended, I needs to know. Because that cliffhanger is what made it from a 3.5 to a 4. The cliffhanger almost gave it a 5. But I can't overlook certain things in here. The main character is so stupid. I have not disliked a main character of a book since Clary in Mortal Instruments and Bella. She's just so dense. But read it. It's so good. Like I said, hate read. It was such a fun time, though. And the last physical book that I'm going to put in this category is I read with a fellow TikToker, which I don't know if I ever reached out and told her that I finished it. With Rachel. Don't know. Rachel, if you're watching this, I apologize. October was a bad month for me. But we read book 2 to the Inheritance Games, The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is part 2, so I'm not going to give you too much. This just continues the story from Inheritance Games. And this was obviously 5 out of 5 stars. I need the third one. When the third one got announced, I was like, excuse me, what? Give it to me now. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. Inheritance Games is about a girl who inherits from a stranger this gigantic mansion and all of his money, and he cuts out his entire family. But there's all these puzzles and clues and stuff like that that you have to follow, and this follows along the story of that. And I cannot wait to see how this world ends, because, damn. The cliffhanger, then, like, I actually thought this was going to be the end of it, and then the announcement of the third one, and then it went, oh, right, she has not been in this house for a year yet. Because she has to be in the house for an entire year to keep the inheritance and everything. It's like the rule. While people are trying to kill her. So yeah. Now on to the graphic novels. We are going to start with, not these, we will wait on these. The first one that I read this month, The Trials of Shazam, the completed series. By Jude Winwick, Howard Porter, and Mario Cassioli. This one was on my TBR for a DC comic that Sterling gave me. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This follows if the wizard was destroyed and Shazam and Billy has to take over the throne of the wizard, and he grants, and the magic system chooses his next successor, which is Freddie Freeman, who is handicapped. I don't remember exactly what he has, but he pretty much has to fight all these different gods and stuff and prove his worth to get different powers and stuff like that. People like Zeus is in here. Oh, because magic is dying and every one of the Shazam people, because the wizard got killed, lost their powers and stuff like that. So, yeah. Chewbacca! Told you I was filming, weirdo. Give me a second to shut the door. Because I can't have that other sound in here, Chewie. Weirdo. Chewie decided he wanted to come join us. But yes, I really loved this. I love the story of Freddy. Freddy is one of my favorite sidekicks. It's just, I love seeing him take over the mantle of Shazam. This was cool, and I will be reading more Shazam in the future. Next, Sterling purchased, and I was just on the moon to try it, purchased for me, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Volume 1, High School is Hell, by Jordi Belair, Dan Mora, and Roel Angulo. Created by Joss Whedon. This is if Buffy was set in today's time period. You don't know what the story of Buffy is? Who are you? And why are you here? This is basically like she has cell phones. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it. I knew that it wasn't going to be exactly what we're used to. Willow is an out and proud lesbian. Loved that from the start. I will state, I didn't really like the fact that Xander was a little bit of a pussy to start with, and where they're taking his story route. And Cordelia's a little too nice. Like, scary nice. But other than that, absolutely loved this take. You even got to see Drusilla and Spike. That's another thing I didn't like. Drusilla wasn't crazy enough. So I knocked off a star, but I really enjoyed this, and I really want to continue, and Sterling said we will own all of them eventually. So I'm super excited. Next, I got into a mood, and then Sterling gifted me the book that goes after this. Got in the mood to reread and catch up with Fence by C.S. Pacat, Joanna the Mad, and Joanna LaFonte. This follows Nicholas and Seji as they try to... No, They're fencing rivals. This is supposed to be a slow burn romance. Where I'm at, there is no romance, and that is really pissing me off. But they fence. So I will give you my ratings. And other than that, I say check it out. The artwork is super cute. One of my favorite series. Love it. I gave volume 1 4 stars. Gave volume 2 4.5. Gave volume 3 4.5. And I gave volume 4 5 stars. And I have the book sitting over there if I want to continue at any point. If I have time this month, I may pick that up just to see where this story goes. So this leads us to my lovely Alice Oseman trip. I found there is an order of what books you're supposed to read because you see like the little like pieces. And on her website, she has a few short stories on her website that you can read. And on Tapas, where you can get all of the Heartstopper comics, she has a few like bits and pieces here and there, and I read everything. I didn't claim some of it because I didn't know if it was in the little booklet or not, but so you're supposed to start off reading Heartstopper Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4, and then you're supposed to read This Winter by Alice Oseman, then Solitaire, then you're supposed to read the prologue to Radio Silence, then read Nick and Charlie, then read the rest of Radio Silence, then read If I Was Born for This, and then Loveless, which I have those two over there because I wasn't able to finish with If I Was Born for This before the end of the month. So, let's just go in with my thoughts and stuff of each thing. Obviously, you guys know I gave all of Heartstopper 5 out of 5 stars. This is the best thing I've read all year. I don't know why I'm so behind the times. Alice Oseman is the queen. I want to own and read everything she's ever wrote. I want American copies. I want British copies. I want an entire section. I ordered a book box subscription of the Heartstopper books that will be here in December to show you guys. I will show you guys all of that when that comes in. I am setting up an Alice Oseman corner. Alice Oseman and TJ Klune are my new all-time favorite authors. They are... I wish I would have had this in high school. I am Nick and I am Charlie. In both ways, I am both. There are things from each characters that I dealt with. There are things from these that Sterling has dealt with. These graphic novels are phenomenal. I'm hoping with the book box, they all come in the American versions because I have the American of the first one and the British of the other 3. So if these all come in American, I will probably still keep Heartstopper, but we'll have a complete set and I will reorder the first one for these so I can have both sets because the numbers don't really add up. But if you don't know what Heartstopper is, it follows Nick and Charlie as they become friends and slowly fall in love. As Charlie's an out and proud queer who comes and then meets Nick, who comes to term that he's bisexual, and these graphic novels follow them. The American have like the little bluish tint to them, and the British does not. These are all written and drawn by Alice Oseman. She is a queen. Her first book was published at the age of 19. Heartstopper follows 2 boys who are side characters in Solitaire, whose sister of Charlie is the main character in Solitaire. I don't know why I can't speak today. But these are just so beautifully done. All of these tackle coming to terms. They tackle eating disorders. They tackle transphobia. They tackle homophobia. They tackle anything and everything you can think of. Like, I cannot wait for the 5th and final volume to come in. These will forever be something that I reread every single year, probably multiple times a year. These are just comfort reads. I don't think I've read something where I've been seen so hardcore in, and I'm not even British. So I just want to thank Alice Oseman, at least for these. I'm super excited for the show. I am going to be doing an entire wall dedicated to them. I don't know what else I can do to just show my love and support for this series alone. So, 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I ran This Winter, which happens, I do believe it actually happens within volume 4. But this follows Charlie, Oliver, and Tori on Christmas Day. And I just thought it was really cute. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars because I just love these characters. You get introduced to different aspects of their lives. And then I loved also really seeing this from, because there's only 3 little parts to this. I really loved seeing Oliver's point of view at the age of 7, where he thinks people are fighting, and he sees everything different from his age, and it's just so adorable. If you're looking for a warm, Christmassy read to read during the Christmas holidays, I highly recommend this. It is super cute, especially if you love this world. Next, we're going to discuss Solitaire by Alice Oseman, which I am so behind, and this is so not what I thought this book was about. I thought this book was about suicide. Well, not suicide. I thought this book was about, like, a deaf kid and stuff like that. These two surprised the hell out of me. They were about things that I did not think that they were about. Listen. This follows Tori, Charlie's older sister or younger sister? Older sister, I do believe. And like it says at the top, this is a catcher in the rye for the digital age. Follows Tori. It's her last... I'm just going to read the back because this really does sum it up. My name is Tori Spring. I like to sleep and I like to blog. Last year I had friends. Things were very different, I guess. But that's all over now. Now there's Solitaire and Michael Holden. I don't know what Solitaire are trying to do, and I don't care about Michael Holden. I really don't. This follows a girl who had all of these amazing friends. And then the things that happened to her brother made her and her brother go through health issues and mental health issues and battles of anorexia, OCD, and stuff like that, and how he got bullied. Really changed her mindset, and she really didn't care about the minimal little bitty things. And then this random thing happens called Solitaire, which hacks the entire high school. Her all-girls school where Charlie goes to an all-boys school, Tori goes to an all-girls school. Granted, they're senior years, year 12 and 13. Girls can go to this school and boys can go to this school. They open it up because of the different programs that will help them get into college, and it makes it easier for people to go to college. So Michael, being who he was seen as a joke and a doofus in the class clown from here decides to come over here, and solitaire happens, and all these little things, all these little pranks happen left and right. And Michael and Tori come together to solve what is going on, as well as facing their own mental health issues. This is a powerful book. I will say there are trigger warnings for suicide in here. And there is an author's note at the very beginning that does list there are suicide and suicidal attempts, suicidal ideation, self-harm, depression, eating disorders, and obsessive OCD behaviors within this. So I would say step light, a little caution. I didn't read the author's note beforehand. And there's a scene where they talk about suicide and stuff like that that felt really powerful and hit me way too close to home. This is now one of my all-time favorite novels. It's not just because of my love for Charlie and them. This is such a powerful book for a woman who is 19 years old to get published. Alice Oseman really is before her time, I will state. So I'll just leave that at that. 5 out of 5 stars. This is one of my favorite books of the year. I bawled my eyes out. I'm crying. I'm trying to stop myself from crying right now just thinking about it. So let's just move on to Nick and Charlie, which I reread, and I gave this, I do believe, where is it? Gave it another 5 out of 5 stars. I read it in September, but I didn't realize that I found this order after. But this just follows Nick and Charlie as Nick is graduating and going off to college and what that means for their relationship. If you want more Nick and Charlie content, that's what this is. It was cute. It was fluffy. I want to thank, I really want to thank Kaylani for this because she kindly gifted this to me, knowing how much I love Nick and Charlie, and I will always love that. So this is just one of the cutest things ever. Ow. Been sitting in a chair all day, so now my legs hurt. The last actual book I want to discuss, then we'll discuss some of the things that I read online and stuff. But I read Radio Silence. I love this. I do believe I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Yes. It would have gotten a 5-star if I didn't just read Solitaire. But this is amazing. This follows Frances and Alid, which I thought was kind of cool. Because Alid, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's A-L-E-D. Is one of Charlie's best friends. And Frances was friends with Karis, who makes an appearance in Solitaire in spots. Which also, Frances in Radio Silence, if you have read Solitaire, is the girl at the party dressed up as Doctor Who. Which I thought was super cool. The characters from this are in this, and characters from this are in this, and they're also in those, and it's just, I love that. Sorry. I now see why you should read it in a certain order. This follows Frances and Alid. Alid has a secret. He is the... Oh, no. Well, Frances has a secret that she is a big fan of this YouTube phenomenon. Oh, what is the YouTube thing called? Oh, what is the thing called? Hold on. Universe City. That's what I thought. And Universe City, she's been drawing. She has the secret, like a Tumblr account where she's been drawing all these pictures and stuff for it. And they reach out to her and ask her to do some artwork for it. Then she discovers Alid, who Alid is really close with Daniel, her arch nemesis, in the fact of both are the top two kids at this school about to graduate, and they're both fighting for valedictorian, essentially. And then she discovers that Alid is the one behind Universe City, and it's all about their friendship, and it's also about the mystery of Karis, Alid's older sister, who decided after the events at the end of Solitaire to disappear. And Francis and Karis were really good friends up until she did something, which I won't spoil, and she just disappears. And Elliot's never heard from her again. So it's also about them having the courage to figure out the truth, courage to be authentically themselves. And this is just chef's kiss of books. I really love this, and I understand why this is some people's favorites. Oh god, what is her name? Because I'm gonna need to know the best friend's name. Rain. Okay. But this just basically is a bunch of friends who... This is a found family, if you're looking for a found family trope. I highly recommend this book. I highly recommend you go into it a little bit blind. Just like Solitaire, I feel like both of these... You can't talk about one without talking about the other. Oh. I feel like both of these you should go into blind. They're just both phenomenal. And that brings us to some of the short stories that I read, which are for free on her website, that she leaked for her fans and people who love her. The first one I read was Party Girls, which follows Rain, which is Francis's best friend, and I want to say the girl's name is Becca. Becky. Follows Becky and Rain as they meet and have like a cute like love affair. Which I gave that one 4 out of 5 stars just because it was a little too short for my liking. But other than that, I can't really tell you much on that one because it's literally like it's really short. It's like, if it was put in... I would love for all of her short stories to be put like in a book, so I can put them up here because they're just so... I'm rambling, aren't I? It's really hard to explain my love for Alice Oseman's world that she has created. It's just like, feels like this warm hug, if that makes sense. But Party Girls really is Rain and Becky just coming together to fall in love. And what would happen if they did. And then I also read Jane and Julio, which I gave 4 stars, which Jane and Julio is Tori and Charlie's parents. And it's just a little short story about how they how they met and fell in love. Because Julio is from Spain and Jane is English. Which I thought was kind of cool that Charlie is part Spaniard, part English. Nick is part English and part French. I just thought that was kind of a cool culture thing. The only other thing I have to talk about is Heartstopper Become Human, which is this little, 110 pages thing that I read on Tapas, which is this alternate reality. It's part of a video game that's super popular in England. I don't remember. It starts with a D. But it's basically if Charlie was a human and Nick was a cyborg or a robot, and then they fall in love. It was super cute. 4 out of 5 stars. No, actually, I gave that one 5 out of 5 stars. It was super cute, super unique, something I've never read before. It literally felt like fan fiction of my 2 favorite characters. So, but that is all I've read this month. I know I didn't really give too much detail into the books because to me, a lot of these I went into blind. I can't really discuss a couple of them. These are really hard to explain. So I do really highly suggest both these books. I've heard those who gave this 5 stars, gave this 4 stars, gave this 5, gave this 4. I completely understand. I know people who gave both 4 stars, and I know people who gave both 5. This one just made me cry just a hair harder than this one. But I do highly, highly, highly recommend both. Alice Oseman is amazing. If you have not read anything by her, where have you been? I have room to be talking. My takeaway from this is basically read some gay werewolves and read some gay graphic novels. If you take any recommendations I ever give you this year, these 3 from this month alone should be what you should read this year. If we're just going to go based off of this month's reading. Both of these are in my top 10 of the year. This is my top of the year so far. I do believe. Unless I read something in November that may knock it out of its park. And this may be in top 5. I usually don't keep same authors in the same. But just saying, I've read some amazing things this year, and some of these take the cake. Yep, that's all I've got for you guys below. Comment down below if you've read any of these. If you have, what were your thoughts? If you've read in any of the Alice Oseman worlds so far, who are some of your favorite characters? When I finally finish If I Was Born for This and Loveless, I will come together with you guys and we will do an entire, video dedicated... Ow, I stabbed myself in the nose. I will do an entire video dedicated to them, and I will rank them as well for you guys on my favorites to my least favorites, which includes all of her little short stories and everything. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. If you're new, hit that thumbs up, and you might as well subscribe because you know you want to. I would say I'm normally not this rambly, but it's me. It's been a long day, and I feel like I've been rambling on for hours, and I know I haven't. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Remember, kids, always be fabulously yourself. Until next time. Oh, boy!